Good morning. Isn't she beautiful? No, I couldn't hear it. Yes. Okay, now, Blessed Mother, were you able to hear it? Are you beautiful, Blessed Mother? Yes. Now she's happy. I want to ask you a question. What time is it? No, not really. What time is it? Don't you have a watch? 9:33. 3 3s. And 9 is 3 plus 3. What time is it? It's a question that we always have to be asking ourselves. Not because we are slaves of the watch or the clock or the time, but because we need, by the calling of the church, we need to always be reading the signs of the times. If we don't understand what God is doing, sadly, if we don't understand what the enemy is doing, we don't know what to do, how to occupy our place in history, and how to cooperate with Our Lady's plan, that at the end is the plan of her Son. We've been the whole weekend celebrating the presence of Our Lady. We've been the whole weekend celebrating the maternity of Our Lady. But I think that we have a couple of questions that we should ask ourselves. Why has Our Lady appeared for 45 years, last 25th of June, 45 years in Medjugorje? Have you ever heard of an apparition of 45 years? There have been a couple of apparitions longer than 45, but they were private apparitions. They were public maybe for 2 or 3 years, and then they were private. Even Sister Lucia, venerable servant of God, Sister Lucia said that she continued to have apparitions of Our Lady of Fatima in the convent. And we had Our Lady of Laos, but never in a public manner. That means not that we can see her. If you do, let me know. That's a blessing. But that she has always and every month a public message for humanity. 45 years Our Lady has been here. And I don't know if you celebrated the 25th. We celebrated in another way, sending a sister to heaven. But it is time that we say, thank you, Mother, for 45 years of being with us here on earth. In many of her messages, Our Lady says, give thanks to the Father, for keeping me here. And that is such a simple phrase, but it has to mean something major. God the Father has sent Our Lady for 45 years to stay, live, almost make a home, a school, and a path of holiness for us in Medjugorje. He could have chosen someplace else, but he chose Medjugorje. And why did he choose Medjugorje? I really don't know. But I can put together a couple of thoughts. When did the apparitions in Medjugorje begin? 1981. June 24, 1981. 1 month and a week after John Paul II was attempted against his life. And we know by the testimony of his secretary and the people that were taking him while he was bleeding out and dying, and the only thing that he prayed, he said, Totus tuos Maria, and he prayed, Blessed Mother, come to earth and save us. Well, the prayer of a pope is always responded. And 1 month after, Our Lady came, thanks to the prayer of the suffering pope, the one that was bleeding and suffering for families. You have to understand that. He was going to open the Institute of Marriage and Family Life when a hen tried to kill him. But he said another hen diverted the bullet. What was the other hand? Our Lady's hand, because it was the 13th of May of 1981. So we can say that Our Lady appeared in Medjugorje. Medjugorje was a little town that hardly anybody knew existed. Did you know existed? Do you know that it was not even in the map? Just like Nazareth, you know? Why did the Lord choose Medjugorje? Well, for many reasons, I think, and many that we don't know. But one of them is that it was a place under communist totalitarian system who tried to kill John Paul II. It has been understood under investigation that behind his attempt, it was a communist system. They wanted to get rid of him. So Our Lady said, I need to appear in a communist country because it is my mission to be the hammer to destroy this totalitarian system. But also she appeared between two mountains. And you know that biblically, mountains are very important. It is a calling to go higher, to walk, to climb. Is it hard? Yes, it is. For younger people, it's easier. After 30, it gets a little harder. And after 45, a little more higher. And after 50, I don't want to talk about it. But between two mountains, actually Medjugorje means between two mountains. That's what it means. And what are the mountains? The mountain where Our Lady appeared, which is now it is a Podbordo, is called the Apparition Hill. And then the mountain of the big, humongous cross that was built in 1933. So Our Lady appeared between two mountains. The one mountain that she claimed for herself, the Apparition Mountain, and the mountain of the cross. What is she saying with that? The two pillars, Jesus and Mary. In between them, we got to seat ourselves. We have to place ourselves in history at this moment, at this time. We have to be between the heart of Jesus and the heart of Mary. Our Lady has been sent also in a historic moment. 1980s. Who was alive in 1980s? Most of us. And we know there were difficult years. Not only in the world, we were, expecting any war anytime. We were expecting nuclear bombs falling up and down. There was a huge crisis in the world at the political level. There was a huge crisis, and this is the worst. That's when the crisis of faith was exploded. It began in the 1960s, but it was exploded in the 80s. And Our Lady came and calls my attention that she said, I have come to remind you. That means that we forgot. I have come to remind you that God exists. Isn't that sad? And people say, oh, Our Lady said, I come to remind you that God exists. That means that we, the children of God, we, humanity, have forgotten that God exists. And if we have forgotten that God exists, we also have forgotten that we have a God who loves us, that is our Father, who takes care of us, who is always watching us. She also said, I have come to remind you that you're not alone. And why did she say that you're not alone? Because if we don't remember that God is with us, who is with us? We are alone, abandoned in this planet. People like to think about that. But we're not abandoned in this planet. This planet is our home. The home that God created for us, and He is the Father in our home, and we have a mother in our home, and we have an elder brother in our home, and that is the Holy Family. So we are not alone. And the world needs to know that. They need to find that hope. How many people come and say, Mother, I am so alone carrying my cross. And I said, look at the crucifix. He already carried the cross for you. So a lady said so many things at the beginning that were setting up the foundation of the 45 years of apparition. The third day, she said 3 times, pray, pray, pray. And I want to remind you that was the first petition of Our Lady in Medjugorje. Pray, pray, pray. Are you praying, praying, praying? Because it's not only, I pray in the night. No, she said 3 times. And 3 means perfection. Then she will explain it later. It says, I'm not just calling you to do some prayers. I am calling you to be prayer. That means that all of our life is in total communion, internal communion. I know you got to work and you cannot be kneeling in the middle of your work, stopping what you're doing, because that is called irresponsibility. It's that your heart is united to Christ and always lifting up your heart and your mind to the Lord. A lady also said the next day, first it was 3, pray, pray, pray. And next day she told Maria, with tears in her eyes, peace, 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 and only peace. Well, I know that you may be thinking at this moment about the war in Iran, Ukraine, but that's not exactly what a lady meant. A lady began with our hearts. Peace, peace, peace. Because after all, who created words? We. It is our choices. Who chooses to have a war in your family? We choose it. Who chooses to respond when somebody's attacking us? We choose it. Who chooses to respond bad when someone is insulting you? We choose it. So a lady saying the only way to bring peace into the world, it has to begin, and then she has spent 45 years explaining to us the need that we have to have peace in our hearts. That is the greatest petition of Our Lady. Have peace in your heart. Because if you have peace in your heart, little by little you will create a culture of peace in your home. And then if your home has a culture of peace, when your children go to school and somebody's telling them something not so nice, in our time, that didn't have a name, now it's called bullying, they will respond with peace because they know who they are. You know, the culture of the family is the strength of the human person. And that's why Our Lady in Medjugorje has spoken so much about family. There was a message in the first month that a lady said, I have come to lead you to my son. Isn't that beautiful? When a mother says, don't worry about it. I know you were in a nightmare, but I'm here. Am I not here who I'm your mother? She's kind of not saying those words, but she is living them by being here. Am I not here that I'm your mother? Why are you to be afraid? Don't be afraid. You have a father who loves you, and you have a mother that loves you and will come to you anytime we need her. So what time is it? I believe it is the time of Our Lady. When we read the signs of the times, we have been living for 200 years, and we're going to celebrate 200 years in 2030 of what is called the Marian era, the Marian time. What is the Marian era? That's the way the theologians called us, and the popes. It is a time when we were going to experience a powerful presence of the Blessed Mother, a powerful intervention of the Blessed Mother in our personal history, but in the history of the world. When we look at the apparitions of before, Our Lady will give us messages that were for our holiness and sanctification and purification. But from Fatima on, actually from Rudubac the miraculous medal, that's when it began, the Marian era, Our Lady has begun to enter into the history of the world, enter into the challenges of the world, even political challenges. Somebody says, Our Lady has become political. I said, thank God, because she's telling us what to do. She even told us in Fatima, consecrate Russia to the Immaculate Heart. Do this, and that to impede another world, another war. Brothers and sisters, we need a lady as a mother to get into all the dimensions of the human life and all the dimensions of society and the world. And that's what she's doing, and in Medjugorje, she has done it in a very powerful manner. As a mother, she has the ministry of visitation. What is the second joyful mystery? The visitation. She began the ministry of visitation in the history of the world. When she went to Elizabeth's house, and we all know everything that happened. When she enters and she just said, Shalom. She didn't go like, come, Holy Spirit, and this and that. And no, she just said, Shalom. Just by the voice of Our Lady, her spouse, the Holy Spirit, come as a new Pentecost. And that's what happened in Elizabeth's house. But that's not my talk, so I cannot get distracted. Because I am already distracted, you know? But when a lady comes, nothing stays the same. Everything changes. Medjugorje, nobody knew existed. Now the whole world knows where Medjugorje is. That little village of 300 people, now you can hardly walk of millions and millions and millions of pilgrims. The same with Fatima, the same with Lourdes. Who has gone to Lourdes? My goodness, look at that basilica. Look at that grotto. I have never seen people kissing rocks. And not because they're new age, but because Our Lady appeared there and she placed her immaculate feet in the garbage of the town. It all has a meaning. Every apparition has a particular meaning. In Medjugorje, Our Lady is saying, I need to conquer. I need the triumph of my Immaculate Heart, but it has to begin in your heart. Because we're praying, oh, Blessed Mother, triumph. Triumph, the world needs your triumph. Is that true? Yes. But what about if she triumphs in the world, but she doesn't triumph in your heart? It's the other way around. She needs to triumph in our hearts to be able to triumph in your family, in your relationships, at work, and wherever you are, and then in the world. Well, Our Lady said in Medjugorje that the apparitions of Medjugorje were like a continuation of Fatima. That what she began in Fatima, she was going to fulfill it in Medjugorje. But the only thing that is kind of waiting to be fulfilled is one powerful thing, her promise. And when a lady promises something, get ready. She's going to fulfill it. When, how, in what way, we have no idea, because she will triumph. But the triumph of God are not exactly revealed how they're going to take place. Actually, they take place every single day. When you went to confession, who went to confession? No, don't tell me. When you went to confession yesterday, you just thought I went to confession. And the Lord forgave my sins. But you know what happened when the priest was absolving you? That was the triumph of the Immaculate Heart in your soul. Because you were being delivered from sin. The thing is that we don't understand what the triumph of the Immaculate Heart is. We think it's going to be, I don't know, something so spectacular like, I don't know, 10,000 millions of drones forming the Immaculate Heart. I have no idea what you think. But the only thing I know is that the triumph of the Immaculate Heart is the conversion of the world. And that's what she said to Jacinta before Jacinta was about to die. She said, the Lord has entrusted me, to little Jacinta and Fatima, the Lord has entrusted me with the most difficult and arduous mission for these times. And Jacinta said, what is it, Mother? And she said, the conversion of the whole world. Isn't that a difficult mission? Yes, it is. But it's happening. Little by little, it's happening in you, it's happening in me. So many people are turning to the Lord little by little. So many people are receiving the sacraments. I can tell you, in the parish that we serve, in the last 4 months, I don't know, the confessions are lines and lines. I said, oh God, we have Medjugorje here in Miami too. Lines and lines, so many people asking to be married by the church. Many people have been away from 40 years going to confession or wanting to be even baptized. Those are triumphs of the Immaculate Heart that happen every single day. Definitely there will be one that we hope to be a universal triumph. But little by little, that is being formed. So one thing that I want to tell you is what a lady said in one of her apparitions in the first year. I have come to tell you not to be afraid. And that's something that I love about the visionaries of Medjugorje. They have 10 secrets that nobody knows. That's why it's secret, so don't ask. You know, have you seen people when they get together with the missionaries? Can you talk to us about the secrets? And I'm like, Lord, give him patience, 45 years answering the same question. That's for me. That's for me a mark of authenticity. Have somebody ask you 4 questions at the same moment. And by the 5th, you say, I got to go to the bathroom, I'm sorry. 45 years telling the same story, never changing one word. Always receiving people, even having accidents because of the pilgrims. Always hearing questions about the secrets, and they had to say, a lady doesn't want us to speak about secrets. And that's not important, because my secret is that I need to be holy because I don't know when the Lord is going to call me. That's the only secret I need to know. That I need to do what a lady has called us to do in Medjugorje, what is called the 5 stones. Prayer, unceasing prayer and prayer of the rosary. You know, if Padre Pio could pray 33 rosaries every single day. Padre Pio, you know Padre Pio, isn't it? And you know that he spent 18 hours a day in the confessional. And she said, this is my weapon. This is the only way I can face the devil in the confessional. If he could pray 33, if Jean Paul could pray 30 rosaries a day, I don't think you're busier than them. At least we can pray 4, isn't it? A lady needs us to pray the rosary because the Lord has granted power to the prayer of the rosary. So much so that a lady said, one single rosary can detain the forces of nature and war. Don't we see the forces of nature in a very kind of crazy manner at these times, causing so much pain and destruction? Well, we need to pray for that. But a lady also said, go to confession regularly. So it was kind of established in Medjugorje monthly confession, even though when people go in pilgrimage, they say, I feel like confessing every day because a lady reminds me of something that I didn't remember. I said, go as many times as you want. This was called, Medjugorje was called the confessional of the world. No other place in the world has the lines from morning to almost the other morning of people waiting to confess in every language. You go to the confessionals and you say, I feel like I am living revelations. People of all nations, of all colors, of all languages, they all gathered together around the Eucharist as the center, in the arms of the Blessed Mother, going to confession, living in prayer, and reading sacred scriptures. Those are the 5 stones. But why are we to be afraid? Because there's a lot of people with fear. And they're asking me all the questions like if I know anything. I don't know anything. I am like you. I can read signs of the times and we should all read it. Don't expect for people to read it for you. You should be able to ask the Holy Spirit, give me discernment to know, according to what's going on in the world, what are you trying to do with us? What do you need of us, Lord? Well, definitely, we don't live in the same world of 25 years ago. The world has changed in many ways. Also, we can see that things are very difficult at all levels, family life. We see destructive and permissiveness in behavior that's going to lead people to destruction, and it's leading people to destruction. We see people without faith, even though many people are coming back to the faith, by a grace of mercy, that we still are in the times of mercy. I mean, Our Lady is kind of like a mother that is like, son, more time, more time, more time. We still are in time of mercy, but we're still beginning to see the consequences, not the punishment, the consequences of our sinful actions. So why are we to be afraid in a world that in general has chosen to live without God? Yes, we should be afraid. Look at this. I'm going to explain it because I'm not incoherent. We have all reasons to be afraid. So many countries just can do, and we are gone in a second. It seems like we are in the hands of human beings. Like the history of humanity is in the hands of men. Doesn't it feel like that way? We either are in the hands of men or in the hands of the earth. Well, none of those are true. We are not to be afraid because we're not in the hands of men or in the hands of earth. We are in the hands of God. And Our Lady is very clear about it, and St. John Paul II said it from the very beginning of his pontificate. What did he cry out? You know, he could have said so many things to the world on the first day of his pontificate. And he cried out to the world, to the church. Be not afraid. Open wide your hearts to Christ, to the Redeemer of men. Open wide the doors of economies, politics, whatever, all the dimensions. Open them to Christ and allow Christ to touch, to heal, and to restore humanity. We still hear that, isn't it? Wherever we go, we see signs. Be not afraid. There's so many apostles with the name, be not afraid. It was Jesus who spoke through John Paul II to humanity, as he did when he entered the cenacle and the apostles were so fearful. With reason, they were fearful. And Jesus said, come down. Peace. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. We have a lot of challenges. And if you don't, let me know how you do it. Because we have a lot of challenges. We have a lot of battles. That's why we need the sacramentals, brothers and sisters. Don't look at the sacramentals like, oh, that's a little medal. No. It's a medal that came from heaven with promises. You have to have them blessed. But, you know, there's people that look at the sacramentals. Those are for, what is it they told me the other day? For people that, in a few words, I'm going to say super nice, that were not intelligent. And I said, well, let's see, when things happen, who's intelligent or not? We need, Our Lady said in Medjugorje, fill your homes and fill yourself with sacramentals, blessed. Put the crucifix in your homes. Put sacramentals, brothers and sisters, the medal of St. Benedict. The miraculous medal. We have seen so many miracles happening at all levels. Another thing that, thank God, they're making them now is in Numbers, in the book of Numbers, there is the deliverance prayer that the Lord showed about the face of Christ. Arise, O Lord. Don't we need Jesus to arise? Arise, O Lord, and let your enemies, which are mine too, the enemies of Christ are our enemies, and my enemies are the enemies of Christ. And let your enemies be scattered, and let those who hate you and hate us fly before your face. Let us give an applause to the Lord. We need to have exercise salt, exercise water, exercise oil, and all the oils that are attached to relics. We need to have all the sacramentals possible because it's not magic. It's not that the metal do this. No, it's a blessing. It's the blessing, but also the fact that those sacramentals were not invented by any person. They were given by the Lord or they were given by Our Lady. So if they gave it, it's because we need them. We shouldn't be afraid. It's because everything is fine? No. It's because all the clouds that we look, they're so luminous and beautiful sometimes, but there's a lot of dark clouds around us. And we need to know and we need to do a spiritual battle, but especially we need to be holy and be people of the sacraments. That is a greater protection. And now that I'm speaking about protection, because a lot of people ask me, Mother, do you know where the places of refuge are? And I said, of course I do. And they expect me to say that. Of course I do, but they think I'm going to tell them in 125th Southwest, 36-7, whatever. I said, no. The places of refuge have been given by heaven, and the places of refuge are the Immaculate Heart of Mary and the Sacred Heart of Jesus. We have to be consecrated to them. But at the same time, brothers and sisters, we have to trust that that consecration claims us. Who do we belong to? To Jesus and Mary. And if we belong to Jesus and Mary, do you think they're not going to fight for us? They're not going to defend us? They're not going to place us in the right place? They're not going to do something for us to make sure that we go to heaven? Of course they're going to do it. And we shouldn't be afraid because God loves us. When you are loved, when you know that you are loved, are you afraid? Because you know that that love will do anything for you. We are loved by the Lord and we are loved by Our Lady, who has, I love, about 10 years ago, I said, Blessed Mother, are you going to go? Please, when June is approaching, I begin to pray, please don't go. Please don't go. Don't go. Please don't go, Blessed Mother, because look at the world and you are here. And in that message, I remember a lady said, the Father has given me permission. She always says that. The Father has given me permission to stay longer with you because you need me. She doesn't come on her own. She doesn't come to say whatever she wants to say. She comes in the name of God to speak to humanity, to speak to us as a mother, with the voice of a mother, with the beautiful look of a mother, with the heart of a mother, but in the name of God. We shouldn't be afraid because history, even though we participate and we write history, history is not our possession. History belongs to Christ. He is the King of history. The last word is not in sin. The last word is not death. The last word is Jesus Christ. And He's the one that signs the last word of every chapter of history. You know, in the apparition of Jesus to St. Faustina, it's the only apparition where Jesus asked to put a signature. And I said, isn't that weird? And what is the signature? Jesus, I trust in you. Well, what Jesus is saying in the chapters of this history that we're living in, every chapter finishes with that phrase. It's signed by Christ himself. Jesus, I trust in you. Whatever happens, Jesus, I trust in you. I trust in the maternal love of the Blessed Mother because Jesus is the only one. Attention. And I don't know if I have time to tell you a witness, but who has the keys of history? Who is the only one that can open the 7 seals? And to open anything, you need a key. Who is it? Jesus. And we don't think about that in Revelations, he is the one that can open the keys. I mean, every chapter of history. He is the one that opens it, he's the one that closes. And I love when he says in chapter 3, I open doors that no one can close. And I close doors that no one can open. Isn't that powerful? To have the keys is very powerful. Don't you have a key of your home? To enter your home, you need a key. And I always say to everybody, whoever has the key is the one giving the orders in the home. Well, he has the keys of history, brothers and sisters, but he has given the keys to the mother of his home, which is Our Lady. That's why I always say that Our Lady is the clock of God. She's the one that says, my son, it is the time. My son, can you delay a little bit the time? My son, can you advance it, please? She's the one that is always praying according to our needs. What is the right timing? So one of the duties that Our Lady is asking us is to ask, are we in the right timing? Are we placed in the right team? Speaking of team, FIFA. Are we in the right team? Are we in the winning team? We want to be, but we need to make ourselves daily an examination of conscience to make sure that we don't overpass the line, even for 5 seconds. There's no time to change, not even for 1 second, to another team. This is the time to be totally and determinedly dedicated to Jesus and Mary and to the work that they're doing in the world. They said it to the angels said it to the children. Pray, sacrifice, do penance. And when they were playing, they were children. They were playing, and the angel, with angels, it's another story. When the angel said, what are you doing? I can see the faces like, we're playing. I told you to pray, to sacrifice, to do penance, because the hearts of Jesus and Mary have designs of mercy for humanity, and they depend on you. I'm telling you the same thing to you today. The hearts of Jesus and Mary have designs of mercy that transcends us, designs of salvation for humanity that transcends us, but we cannot be playing. We cannot be distracted. We cannot thinking so much about ourselves. There's something so greater than ourselves, brothers and sisters, that is taking place, and we need to be in that team to make it win. We need to be cooperators of the triumph of the Immaculate Heart of our Blessed Mother. Remember that the devil can do a lot, and a lot of harm at all levels. But he's not at the same level than God. So the yin-yang thing, whatever, the that they put like the two colors together, like two forces fighting together. That's a lie of the enemy. This is not two forces fighting together at the same level. No, God is God and the devil is a creature, and he's already been crushed. The question is, if I have allowed a lady to crush him in my life. No, Mother, I don't get involved in anything that is of the occult. No, I'm not speaking about that. I don't expect you to. I am speaking about lack of virtue. I am speaking about the way you treat each other. I am speaking if you are an instrument of a lady to humanity. I am speaking if you are a bearer of peace to a peaceless world. I am speaking about if you are a proclaimer of the good news of the gospel, or you are the proclaimer of the bad news. That's why we have to make a good examination of conscience, because we have to make sure that we are in her field and that we're cooperating with her. The heart of Jesus will triumph. That we can be sure. The heart of our Blessed Mother will triumph. This is not something beautiful for you to feel consoled and affirmed. I'm not up to that. This is the promise of the Blessed Mother. This is the promise of the Mother of Jesus. This is the promise of our Mother. And whatever she promises, she fulfills. This is the promise of a mother who will do anything for her children. But now, this is also the plan of God. And you're going to say, and why the Lord needs the triumph of the Immaculate Heart to triumph, for him to triumph in the world? I'm going to explain it very simply and very quickly. Because he explained it to Sister Lucia. He said, because from now on, I want all the triumphs of the Immaculate Heart to be totally linked to the triumphs of my heart. So people can put the two hearts together from now on. They both triumph together. It's a triumph of love. Love will always triumph. And the only way, brothers and sisters, to conquer evil is by doing good. That's what St. Paul says. How am I going to conquer somebody that is always treating me bad? You say good morning. If you cannot speak anymore, at least say good morning. If you didn't bring any lunch, would you like half of my sandwich, even if you're starving? The force of good is stronger than the force of evil. I want you to understand that. The Immaculate Heart of our Blessed Mother has already triumphed in many hearts. I hope it's triumphing in your hearts this weekend. Because she is the great sign of victory. Remember Revelations? A sign appeared in heaven. A woman clothed with the sun, with a baby about to be born. And who was there also? Not a nice sign. The dragon. We need to understand that this is serious. This is a serious spiritual battle. And St. Louis de Montfort said that as time passes, it was going to get fierce and more violent. But brothers and sisters, what does a lady do to protect the life of the child that she's about to give birth? She flies to the desert. She will do that with you. When you consecrate to her and you say, Mother, every time I am in danger, just take me. Even if I don't understand, get me from the hair, and then you explain it to me. But just save me, because I am yours, because I am your child, and I have given my life completely to you. Our Lady is the first victory, and I'm going to need you to give a big applause. Our Lady is the first victory of God. Because She is the only one that has been created without sin, original sin. The devil has never been able to touch her. I'm sure that he tried so many things that we don't even know just to make her fall because she was free, but she always stayed faithful to her calling to the Lord and to the grace that she had received. God triumphing a lady, and that's why she is the instrument to bring to the world the victories of God. She is the victory, and she will bring the victories of God. And just to finish, a lady in her messages speak a lot of Satan. One of the apparitions that speaks more about Satan. And he says, Satan is working hard because he wants to destroy my plans. I want to ask you to promise Our Lady that you will do whatever it takes to block, to stop, to destroy the plans of Satan that wants to destroy the plans of Our Lady. We need the plans of Our Lady to be realized because that will bring about the triumph of the Eucharistic heart of our Lord. We need to do something. She asked us to pray. Brothers and sisters, in the novena, first time in 45 years that in the novena, she asked for 3 days of fasting. What is that? That's nothing. 3 days of fasting. And then after the 3 days of fasting, she said the next day, thank you for those who responded to my call to fast 3 days, because with that, I was able to do something that you, your next generation, and the generation of your children will never regret it. We don't know what those 3 days stopped. We don't know what those 3 days obtained. But brothers and sisters, just to finish, because they're making me signs already. Just to finish, what is the key here? Is to listen to the calls of the Blessed Mother and to obey them. There's so much at stake. If you have a great illness and the doctor says that you need to take a specific medication and you don't take it, what happens? The illness grows. So what did she say in Fatima? Do this, pray the rosary daily for peace, do this, this and this and that. If not, a worse war will come. And it came, isn't it? The Second World War. What does that say? That nobody paid attention to Our Lady. Nobody responded what she was asking. If not, we would have stopped it. But this is the moment that we had to stop whatever the devil is trying to do. And we had to stand up with the rosary in our hands, with the cross in our hands, surrounded by sacramentals, living a holy life, a life of prayer, reading scriptures in your home. Reclaim your homes for God. And all that Our Lady is saying is this. Dear children, I am calling you to be my extended hands. The Lord has asked me to do it with you. He wants to begin His reign of love with me and through me, so the triumph of the Immaculate Heart can take place. But I will not be able to do it without your help. This is Our Lady speaking. And just to finish, I believe the Medjugorje in itself, what happens in Medjugorje is like a first fruit of what the Immaculate Heart, the triumph of the Immaculate Heart is. A place of conversion, a place of prayer, a place of peace, a place of solidarity, a place of love, a place of sacrifice and penance, a place where God in the Eucharist is the center. Is the center of Medjugorje. So what happens in Medjugorje is an example of what Our Lady wants to do, not only in Medjugorje and in the parish of Medjugorje. It's what Our Lady is being called to do in a universal manner. God bless you.